Hello ladies and gents, welcome to another video. So today we're going to be doing a little bit of a challenge with myself and another YouTuber called Joey from j.d.t. So a few weeks ago I thought to myself, how can I publicly embarrass Joey? And it got me thinking. And then I realised I've got two Xboxes which I don't have a clue what I run with and basically don't have a clue if they're fixable. So I sent one over to Joey and he has made a repair video on his attempt at fixing it. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing. So I've got here a Xbox One original. And the reason I'm showing you the back first is because it's a little bit rough. So the disk drive is all mangled. The front panel is missing, the side panel is missing, and I basically cherry-picked the worst one for myself. So if you don't know who Joey is, I absolutely recommend going and checking out his channel and also checking out the video that he's done on his part of this challenge. So Joey is a quote amateur, so that's his word, not mine, and he's basically documenting his journey on YouTube, and I thought it'd be a great idea to do kind of a pro versus amateur showdown. So basically, people consider me as a professional technician when it comes to games consoles. Not something I like to be considered, but that's just the truth of it. And I work on these every day. I do work on these every day, so I want to make that clear. I've seen pretty much every issue that you can come across on an Xbox One, whereas Joey is just getting into this, he's just starting. So we thought it would be a good idea to have a little fun and try and see if we can fix them and basically see who the better technician is. Now, obviously, it's going to be me because that's why you're watching my video, but come on, at least give him a chance, okay? Now, in all seriousness, it's just going to be a fun little challenge. And obviously, like I said, I do these every day, Joey doesn't, and it's going to be interesting to see his diagnostic process on the console. I don't know what's wrong with either of them. I haven't got a clue. I've never tried to power these on. These were gifted to me by a very generous viewer along with two other consoles. So the first console that I was gifted was basically a liquid damage and it was full of cat pee. So a big thank you for that one. I really enjoyed working on that one. No, we had a lot of fun on stream with that one, but it was fun. The second one was just a simple HDMI port, and I got that fixed, and it's down there behind me waiting to go into a case and then put into my collection. But the third and fourth one I didn't know what to do with because obviously I didn't know what was wrong with them, and I didn't have a clue whether they was going to be fixable. But I wanted to do something fun, so I basically sent one over to Joey, and he agreed to do a repair challenge. So first of all, a massive thank you to Joey. He is genuinely, when I say this, I mean it. He is genuinely such a nice guy. I talk to him every day on WhatsApp. He's genuinely a nice guy. He's down to earth. His videos are entertaining. He's just a nice guy. Just honestly, please go check him out because he is doing good things on YouTube as he's documenting his journey. I think it's great what he's doing, and I do really enjoy his content. And I'd like to do more of this sort of stuff with other YouTubers as well. So as opportunities present themselves, I'm definitely going to be doing more. So, like I said, this was gifted to me by a viewer, and I have absolutely no idea what's wrong with it. So, without further ado, let's get into the repair. Okay, so as you can see, I've tidied around me, so basically no one can see the mess that's on the sides. And we have here this Xbox One, and it's looking a little bit sorry. It's looking a little bit sore. So, obviously, we've got no front panel, so the touch panel's missing. The disk drive is definitely going to need replacing. But other than that, that is literally as far as I've gone. This isn't viable to repair because whatever's wrong with this, it's still got to have a front panel, side panel, the little nipple thing that goes for the sync button, and God knows whatever else that could be wrong with it. So it's not going to be viable to repair, but it is going to make a fun little challenge. So let's try, first of all, powering it on and seeing what's actually going on with it. So I've got here a power brick. This is a known good power brick. This is what we call a known good part. Basically, we know it works. It's tested regularly. And I know full well that it's not going to be an issue when it comes to attempting to turn it on. So basically, if we use known good parts, we're eliminating any kind of variables that could be there for the person who it belonged to. So basically, the person who it belonged to could have had a faulty power supply. If we use a power supply we know is good, then we're eliminating that variable from the fault list. So let's try and turn it on. So I can turn it on just by touching this connector here. Ooh. Oh. Okay, that's strange. It tried to power on for a second. Did you hear that graceful shutdown? So it's trying to press the disk drive at the same time because these are capacitive touch sensitive connections. So they go based on resistance, and when you touch them, the resistance, I don't know if it increases or decreases, but the resistance changes, and that tells the console it wants to turn on. And that's basically how these work. There's a chip on the back of the little board, and it's a capacitive touch chip. So yeah, that is a beep on and beep off issue. Maybe I should have given Joey this one. Should have probably given Joey this one. And his is probably going to be a lot better than mine. A beep on beep off issue, for anyone that don't know, is a rabbit hole. It can be absolutely anything. So this is going to be fun. Who knows? I might not be able to fix this. If I can't fix this and Joey fixes his, then he's the winner. What does he win? Absolutely nothing. It's just a bit of fun. But this might not be fixable. A lot of beep on beep off issues are not fixable. Okay, these annoy me, these do. These cases. They're really tricky to get open. Well, I'll say that and then it comes open easy. Never mind. Okay, so that's that. So we just pry it off, basically. Ooh. Oh, nice. Very nice. So this was gifted to me by a viewer, like I said. I want to say a big thank you to that viewer. I'm not going to mention names because I don't know if he wants mentioning. So I'm not going to mention names. This has definitely been opened in the past. Yeah, most of these screws are just finger tight. Well, the ones that are finger tight, I can just save some time, I guess. Some sort of something around here. Interesting. I think that might be some sort of liquid. But liquid doesn't normally cause a beep on beep off. It normally causes issues with main power. So on the main power rail. Wrong size screwdriver. Well, who's the noob now, eh? So like I said, these were gifted by a viewer. And basically, that could have literally anything wrong with them. The viewer didn't tell me what was wrong with them. All he said was that he doesn't want them and he's not going to be trying to fix them, so I can have them. So it could literally be anything. But what I'm going to do is just carry on disassembling this. Okie doke. So, this hard drive's been unscrewed. Okay, well, let's test the hard drive. That's not going to be the reason for a beep on and then beep off issue, but let's just check this hard drive. Let's see if this works, because at least then I can salvage something. If the worst was to happen and I can't fix it, of course. So this cable, what I've got here, when I eventually get it the right way, that's a little rule, that is. When you plug in a USB in, you always get it rung twice before it goes in properly. It's a little unwritten rule of USB cables. You have to get it rung twice before it goes in properly. That's been... Wait, has that been scratched off? I don't think that hole's meant to be there. Looks like someone might have had this open. Is that open? It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell if that's actually been exposed, because if that's been exposed, this hard drive's not going to work. Okay, well, it's spinning. But we only have a red light. I don't think that's normal. Access isn't lit up. So I think this hard drive might be faulty. But I'm going to open up Crystal Disk Info. That's going to be some software which is going to allow me to try and read the drive and check the health status. And yeah, it's not reading. It's not picking up with that drive. So this is my 4TB drive. Then I've got a 1TB M.2, a 250GB M.2, and a 500GB SSD. So it's not actually showing up. Rescan. Yeah, it's not picking up. Okay, so this hard drive doesn't work. And to be honest, I kind of imagine so because it's got that hole there. So hard drive doesn't work, disk drive doesn't work. It's literally just going to be a case of let's just try and fix it for the sake of fixing it. Okay, so I've got the board out. Let's just move my SATA cable out of the way. So this is literally going to be a case of just fix it for the sake of fixing it. Or try and fix it for the sake of fixing it. So I'm going to get the heatsink off then, so as I can see the rest of the board. So I'll use a X-clamp tool there. Joey. Hello, Joey. How are you doing, Joey? It slots in, mate. It slots in. No, Joey's got one of these, and basically he was struggling last week to remove the X-clamp, and he actually ended up crushing a couple of capacitors. I think it was these here. Which, to be fair, I mean, he's not used these as much as I have. And basically, I just want to show people actually how it goes. So the heatsink clamp sits like that. And how have I just ripped my glove? I've just put these on. So, yeah. You meant to drop it. I meant to do that, okay? But no, the clamp actually sits in between the grooves. So there's some grooves there, and this is designed to sit in between it. So I just thought I'd show people that, and then you can leave it down and it'll just basically pop it off. But I was trying to get that across and tell Joey how to do it, and it was difficult. And ugh, ew. Okay. Anyway, so like I said, this has got a beep on, beep off issue, and that could be literally anything. I think, judging by what I'm seeing, let me get this off. Judging by what I'm seeing so far, I think this is possibly liquid damaged. It looks like we've got signs of damp. Yeah, that's got liquid there for definite. And I'm seeing some signs of corrosion around here. Okay, well, liquid damage is always fun. So, I think number one is I should get another glove on. And number two, I should probably start to clean some of this up. So one of the things that I always say is if you're dealing with any kind of liquid damage, you don't want to clean it up before you've inspected it. So I'm not going to be cleaning it up just yet, but I am going to get rid of this. So this is just dust off the fan, which is actually still wet. Okay, so I'm going to pop under the scope. I'm going to start to inspect it, but it looks like we've got some corrosion around here. So I'll start to inspect it. I'll see what we're dealing with exactly. Alright, so here's where I'm seeing signs of corrosion. Ew, that doesn't look great, does it? So I'm seeing signs of corrosion around U9E2, U9E1, and the surrounding components. And U9E1 and U9E2 are basically MOSFET drivers. So the part number for those is NCP5901. And it looks like they might be bad. So let's just carry on. So these are the power phases, by what's this? What? Yeah. What is you? What is you? What are you doing there? Ah, never mind. I thought that was exposed copper from the inside of the component then. Right, looks like we've got some pretty bad damage here. So all of this area here is corroded. Well, oxidized mainly. We've got some corrosion around this resistor. Although it's not coming off the board. Okay. It's not too bad so far. So I'm just going to do a visual inspection of the board. Just see if I can see anything. So this is the RAM, by the way. Ooh, this one looks a little bit rougher than the rest of them. This is power management for the RAM. That doesn't look great, does it? Some evidence that something's been here. Alright, well, it looks like the main issues are going to be down here. These two power phases down here. So, this one here and this one here. So, basically, it looks to me like this is damaged and this is damaged. And without these, the MOSFETs that these are powering are not going to work. So, basically, this MOSFET here is controlled by this driver here. So, first thing I'm going to do is ultrasonic this, I think. I'm going to stick it in the ultrasonic cleaner for about 20 minutes and just see how it turns out. So my ultrasonic cleaner is just here with a kind of Red Bull conveniently placed. I swear that's not product placement, I promise. It's just me being a very messy person. So what I've just done is I've just turned the heater on. So I'm going to leave it to warm up for around about 10 minutes or so. And then I'm going to put it through the ultrasonic cleaner for around about 10 to 15 minutes. And then basically we'll just take it from there and see what actually happens when I run it through the ultrasonic cleaner, because sometimes just an ultrasonic cleaner can fix it. I doubt that's going to be the case in this scenario, because there's obviously visible damage to the components. So we're probably going to have to replace some components, but I want to put it through the ultrasonic cleaner just to see how clean it actually comes out. But while I'm doing that, I am going to just clean off the APU. I don't want all this thermal paste to be in my ultrasonic cleaner, so I'll just get rid of what I can. So this is literally just a normal cotton swab that I'm using, just to scrape some of this away. I'm telling you, an ultrasonic cleaner is a man's best friend when it comes to liquid damage, because it can get underneath the chips. It can get the ultrasonic cleaning solution underneath the chips, and it does actually look like we might have some damage to some of the capacitors on the APU. And also, there are some signs that something might have been here. I don't think that's going to come across in the light. Actually, yeah, it does just about. You can just about see a difference in colour just there. So from there, on the south bridge to the rest of the chip, you can see a slight difference in colour. So we might have some corrosion underneath the south bridge. Maybe. Yeah. This is going to have a fun time in the ultrasonic cleaner, that's for sure. So what I've got to do is I've got to put half of the board in and then turn it round, because the ultrasonic cleaner isn't big enough for the board. So I have to run it through for 10 minutes for half of the board, and then run it through for the other half of the board for the other 10 minutes. The ultrasonic cleaner will come up to about here, and then it'll come up to around about here when I put this side in. So it'll definitely cover all of it. Alright, well, I've got rid of most of the thermal paste there. Just get rid of these last few from the corner. Bear in mind, I'm not putting pressure on this APU. I'm not trying to scratch it, I'm just trying to scrape the thermal paste away. It's not absolutely necessary, but I don't really want it to fall off in the ultrasonic cleaner. I would prefer to get most of, if not all of it, off now. So the ultrasonic cleaner is basically warming up anyway. Alright, I think that'll do. I think that will do. It's clean enough to the point where I can put it in the ultrasonic cleaner anyway. I mean, the board is full of dust and all sorts anyway, so I'm not really that bothered. It's just isopropyl alcohol and distilled water anyway. So we're going to get this into the cleaner. So I'm going to move a few things out of the way that I like to dump. Shift all of my spares out of the way. And yep, I can feel that's warmed up. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to drop this into the ultrasonic cleaner. And this is the reason I can't put it in sideways. It don't quite fit. So I'll put it in there on an angle and then just turn it on. And I'll fast forward through this bit. But I'm basically going to let that run and clean the board, do what it does, and hopefully when I take it out it's going to be nice and clean. So here's what it looks like once it's out of the ultrasonic cleaner. It looks a little bit better, but we can't power this on because in the ultrasonic cleaner I use isopropyl alcohol and distilled water, which means that there are still some traces of water on this board, so it will kind of defeat the object of cleaning it, wouldn't it? So what I do with this is I'll give it a blast with air. So I've got a little machine which I'm going to be using, and I'll use it outside. So this is the machine. It's super high powered, and when I say super high powered I mean it is super high powered. So that's going to blast all of the water away, and then I'm going to use the machine that you saw in the background, which is this thing here. This is called a BGA workstation, and basically what this does is it's supposed to be to reflow chips such as the APU, but I use it for the bottom plate, and basically I allow the bottom plate to heat up, and basically then that will dry the board fully. So it's a little bit of an unorthodox method as opposed to just leaving it to dry naturally, but it's the method that I choose to use because it's a lot quicker. So I'll start to blast this out outside, and I'll blast all of the water off it with the big air gun that I've got. And yes, it's very, very bright outside. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to blast it. I've actually dropped the case on top of the wire for this. But I'm going to blast it with air and basically get all of this water off. Okay, and finally, like I said, I'm going to just put it onto the BGA machine for a few minutes just to dry the rest of the board. So I'll move the top plate out of the way. I don't use the top plate because the top plate is what's going to reflow the chips, but the bottom plate is going to dry everything off. So I'll just leave that to run 5 minutes or so and then come back to it, and it should be fully dry. Okay, so this is ready to come off now. So the top plate hit 207 degrees Celsius or something like that. That's actually increasing still. No, it's not. Never mind. Okay, so the board is pretty hot, but that just basically gets rid of any remaining moisture which might be there, and it's going to allow me to safely test the board and see what's happening with it. So let's inspect under the microscope and see the areas which were damaged, and let's compare them to what they look like now. Alright, so if you remember before, we had a lot of corrosion all around here. Look at it now. Absolutely beautiful. U9E2, U9E1, corrosion gone. That should be a saying. So we've got some damage to some of the capacitors, which is fine. The capacitors are irrelevant in this situation. But just look at how good this board looks now. Same as the U9F2, which is the RAM driver. So this driver here, this chip here, is the TPS51916. It's a RAM power management IC, and the board's not going to turn on without that chip. It's going to go to a beep on, beep off, and I've showcased this a few times now. In terms of the RAM, it looks mint. It looks mint. Power management chip, the NCP4204. Safe bridge. Yeah, absolutely mint. Not a speck of anything on there. APU. Looks great. Still a couple of little bits of thermal pasta on there, but never mind. One thing I was concerned about was this capacitor here, because this group of capacitors looks a little bit darker than the rest of them, and I was a bit concerned about that, but I don't think it's going to be an issue now it's been cleaned. We shouldn't have any corrosion underneath any of the chips either now. But yeah, that looks great. It looks absolutely mint. What's that? It's just a hair. Never mind. So with how it looked before to how it looks now, you can see the difference. It's absolutely huge. The difference is huge. So, I mean, I guess we can just try and turn it on and just see what happens. See if there's any kind of change. So I'll get the speaker. The reason we get the speaker is because we want to know what's actually happening when we try and turn it on. We want to know what sound it's making. So let's do that. Okay, so that's plastic, so it doesn't matter if it's just sat there. It's turning on. Oh, hang on. Oh, never mind. It's overheating. That's turning on, ladies and gents. Oh, wow. I can't believe that. That's mad. An ultrasonic clean. No fixing needed. Well, I mean, I'm assuming it's actually going to stay on, but that's pretty funny. Yeah, just a really good ultrasonic clean by the look of it. Right, I'm not going to reuse this. It's disgusting. Okay, that's not going on. Alright, so a little tip. When you try and put the X clamp on, if it doesn't go on, take it back off. Honestly, because if it doesn't want to go on and you try and force it down, you're going to be putting too much pressure on the APU itself, so on the actual chip. And you don't want that, because I've actually seen these boards get killed because of too much pressure. But if you take it off and just start from a different side, chances are it's going to go on. Alright, so that's got a new fan, or a new heatsink and fan. We are going to need the disk drive. Now I know the disk drive doesn't work, but it should have the daughter board in there to be able to at least get the software working. And if you remember, the hard drive didn't work, so I've got myself another hard drive here. This is a known good hard drive, 500 gigabyte, and I'm going to use that. So you can see here where these holes are actually sealed. You break them seals and the console's, well, the hard drive's gone. It's knackered. You can't break those seals and get away with it. Hang on a minute. That's the wrong disk drive. I've just took the disk drive from another console I've got down by the side of me. That's actually one that's going to Wayne's Noob Repair for the challenge. So like I said, I like to do these whenever I can. It's pretty fun. And I deliberately sabotaged the board to send to him. I'll show you that in a minute, so you can look out for that one. That's not a challenge that we're going to be doing together. That's just a challenge that he's doing. I've got some screws here. So basically, I've got a Xbox One. It's been sat in my workshop for over 12 months. The customer abandoned it, and it was covered in cat pee. And it kept coming back to me. And it turned out it kept coming back because the power supply was faulty, but the customer wasn't having none of it. And in the end, she abandoned it. So I said to Wayne's Noob Repair last week, I'll leave a link to his channel as well. I said to Wayne's Noob Repair last week, I said, hey, I've got a board. If I deliberately rip all of the traces off the HDMI port, would you try and fix it? And he said yes. So that's going to be a fun one to see. That's going to be on his channel, not mine. So I'll leave a link to his channel in the video. Alright, so I've got a known good hard drive. This actually comes from a board I was working on as part of my Find It, Fix It, Flip It challenge. Let's see if this wants to turn on. So I've got nothing metal underneath. So this is basically how it would sit in the housing. Like I said, this isn't viable to fix. I'm just fixing this for the sake of fixing it. This drive is definitely screwed, but it is turning on now. But I am, however, going to grab another disk drive in a minute, just for the sake of completion. Okay, so that's turning on and staying on. However, interestingly, the fan isn't spinning. Ah, yeah, that's... oh, okay. Alright, well, the fan is working. It's got something stuck inside. How's that got in there? Now, spin. Thank you. Alright, well, the fan is working. boom, there we go. We have a display. Oh, that's awesome. Right, I apologise, but my DC power supply has been showing up on the screen throughout the entire video, which kind of sucks, but never mind. Alright, so one thing I do need is the Wi-Fi card. This is going to turn the console off when I do this, I think. Yep. So that usually turns the console off when I do that, which is fine. But I do need the Wi-Fi card so that I can use the controller wirelessly. So I need to sync it up with a USB cable, but after that I can sync it wirelessly. I can use it wirelessly and actually be able to test it all properly. So this has got the Wi-Fi card that came out of the console in it. And I'm going to take a USB cable. Oh, okay, it's got a bit of a damaged. It's got a bit of a damaged USB port. Interesting. So there might be a repair in this after all. Syncs a controller. So I'm going to go to my desktop and I'm going to plug in a USB. There we go. I'm going to format this using NTFS. I've got the OSU1 file here. So this is the latest one. I downloaded it the other day. Drag that to there, and I'm going to let that copy over. So here's what I made earlier. So let's pretend that this is the one that was faulty, okay? You didn't see nothing. You didn't see nothing. Yeah, no, I honestly don't know what I'm doing with these disk drives. PS4, fine, I'll do them all day long. These, hell no. Just take the board off, swap it for a new one. They cost like £15 to buy, so when it comes to doing them for customers, I've never had to do them because it's not worth it. I may as well just swap the board over. So I'm going to scrap that. Well, I'll sell it as just a mechanism on eBay and make some money that way. But I'm going to use this one instead, and we're going to pretend that this is the one it came with. Same as the one I've just destroyed, trying to get it to go on. Let's pretend that I didn't do that. You can't see this. Okay, just going to add a tad of flux. Just to make these joints nice. There we go. Okay, OSU1 is ready on the USB drive. So let's try and install the software. Yoink. And actually, before we do that, what's up with this? Might have just been me. Oh yeah, it's fine. Okay, cool. Here we go. Let's run through OSU1. So I'm going to leave this to run, and hopefully we can get it working. Right then, ladies and gents, this is done. This has gone through the install. So my capture card froze at 5% for some reason, but it's gone through the installation. So I'm going to run through the rest of the setup. And the annoying thing is the capture card keeps freezing. I don't know what it is about that capture card. I think it might be faulty, to be honest, but never mind. So I'm going to hook it directly to my TV. And just like that, we can run through the setup. So this is about the furthest I can get back, unfortunately. This workshop's very small. I've got the Ethernet plugged in, by the way, but I will test Wi-Fi. And boom. Done. let's test the most important thing. Does it play a game with our fixed disk drive? It takes in a disk, and it loads that disk as well. Just there. Awesome. Just unplug the Ethernet cable. Does it pick up Wi-Fi? It does. Okay, so just pressing that button ejected the disk, and it also turned off the console at the same time, but that's what I wanted anyway. So letting that shut down, and then I've basically just got to put the console back in the case and call it done. There we go, beautiful, and voila. So all that's left to do, get rid of those tacky stickers. Job done. Job done. Right, so I will source a replacement front panel for this eventually. So I'll come across one at some point, but that is basically what's going to be the finished result on this one. So it sucks that I don't have a front panel to hand which I can replace this with. Obviously there wasn't one with it, so that's going to be a problem. The main point is the console is working, and yeah, I kind of feel a little bit bad because it wasn't that difficult of a job to do. Albeit I did need to replace pretty much everything to get it working, but it's working, and I didn't have to do any component level repair or diagnostics to get it working. Sometimes the ultrasonic cleaner is all you need. Genuinely, that is all you need, is just a good clean. So this was obviously liquid damaged, and it turns out that it just needed an ultrasonic clean, and obviously the rest of the components needed replacing as well. So the hard drive, disk drive, front panel, side plastics, yeah, whatever else I did to it, the fan. I don't know what else I put in it. Well, obviously it's not viable to do as a repair, but it was a lot of fun to work on. I really hope that Joey manages to fix his. We're going to be posting these videos at the same time, so I will leave a link to his video in the video description. Be sure to check him out, guys. Honestly, he's a great guy. I really do enjoy his content, and I'm pretty sure that you will too. But that's going to be for this video. Thank you very much to Joey for participating. I really do wish you the best of luck with yours. I really do appreciate you participating in the challenge. Hopefully he fixes it. Hopefully he does a better job than me. So let me know what you think down in the comments down below. If you are new to the channel, as always, be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell notifications so that you're notified whenever I release a video. If you want to support the channel, you can do so by becoming a Patreon member using the link in the video description. You can become a channel sponsor using the join button down below the video, or you can just use the Amazon affiliate links. And the Amazon affiliate links, every time you use those, I do get a little bit of commission. So if you want to use those, I would really appreciate it. But that's going to be for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, see you later. Bye for now.